one interview right into the other. We got to get this guy. He's probably got to go downstairs and start stretching out and getting ready. Zach Moore joining us from the Regina Pats. It's the Pats and Blades tonight here at the Brandt Centre, 7 p.m. Zach, thanks so much for coming up and hopping on. Ryan and I were talking before that for you, it's, you're a Saskatoon guy, Contacts alum, right? Did you know that Kyle McIntyre, who was just on, his father for a number of years was the government, the owner, right?
Oh yeah, the Jim Mack Cup.
Jim Mack
Cup. Legendary where I'm from. So, yeah,
exactly. You first off, we were talking about the Contacts team. Like when you played, I think it was 21 and 22 season. You got a chance to play with a couple of guys that are doing some cool things, and Noah Chadwick, especially Berkeley Catton.
Oh yeah. I mean, the stats, everything says it all. I mean, to play with them, it's pretty special. They're one of a kind players. So I mean, there's not much else to say about that.
When you go back to that, and interviewed guys and they talk about, Berkeley, we played as an underage and he came in and he scored, and Kevin Korchinski tells the story. Is there something that you really remember about Berkeley and just his talent and what kind of player he was?
I mean, I grew up playing with Berkeley, even through all of our childhood, we were pretty close friends. So I mean, kind of just seeing the work that he put in, he had a rink in his backyard and we were over there every day, and he would be out there for hours. I'd be freezing, wanting to go in, and he'd be like, "No, we gotta shoot 100 more pucks. We gotta do stick handling, whatever." So just the time he spends, I mean, I think that's what really separates him from everyone else.
As a Saskatoon guy too, right? Looking at your stats here, I love it. The Saskatoon Stallions, shout out Stallions, actually upset in round 1 too. They're continuing on in the Bantam AA this year, and then you go Contacts, and then you get to play with the Saskatoon Blades. Hometown, playing for the Blades. How special was that?
I mean, it started on draft day when I hear my name get called to them. I mean, it's kind of surreal, right? You don't really realize that you actually get to stay at home. All your buddies are still there. You go to the same school. I mean, it's kind of just surreal. And then, you get to play in front of your family every night, and all your friends come and they watch. And I mean, it's a cool experience that not everyone gets to live.
I don't want to go too far back on the Blades, but one more for the Blades. Who was your favorite Blade of all time when you were growing up and watching?
I think it's hard to say because when I was real young, I don't really remember the players, but when I was growing up, Doc was always a standout. I mean, the skill he had was unbelievable. So he's the one guy who kind of stood out to me.
Yeah, good one.
So awesome feeling being able to play in your hometown, and then last year you get traded down here to Regina. How does the emotion change now on a day like today with Saskatoon coming in, and you get to play not only your former team but your hometown team as well?
I mean, it kind of just lights a fire under you. You kind of want to. It gives you that extra boost almost to play good against them, and have an impact for the team you're playing on now, which is Regina. And I kind of just want to do everything I can to win, and playing against my former team, it just kind of gives me that fire.
Are you guys talking in the locker room? You're a young, scrappy team. You're not going to make the postseason this year, but you got a team that really needs points coming in here in Saskatoon. Are you guys, kind of, hey, we can play the spoiler. We can really stick it to these guys a bit.
Yeah, we know how much this game means to them. I mean, they're looking for that first spot in our division. So, I mean, to kind of spoil that for them, it's a good feeling if you can do that. So, I mean, we've had a couple words about that, how they're a team that can be got. So, yeah. I mean, we're just going to try and do that.
Maybe speak to the dynamic of your locker room, your team. I mean, I don't think it's any secret, Zach. You guys have seen it. You've heard it around town that, you're in a little bit of rebuilding mode. But the one thing I give you guys credit for is you play hard every single night that I've watched you play. And you're in a lot of games. You're in it right to the end. Some go your way, some don't go your way. But I really give you your group credit for how hard they come and compete and work every night. So maybe just touch on, is it Coach Haroff is really giving you guys that good lead, or do you have that good leadership in the room and want to play for each other in a season that, like Barney says, you're not going to make the playoffs now, but you keep working right to the end?
I mean, it starts in our room. I think honestly, we have a good group of older guys that kind of set the example, and just with all of our moving parts this year, just kind of building that chemistry within our group, and even just bonding off the ice. And I mean, I think it's going to lead to on ice success. So just kind of keeping that positive attitude going into each game is going to be huge for us.
What one of the questions we're asking listeners today to text in at 936-6262 is once the Pats and the Warriors aren't going to make the postseason, who are people out there going to be rooting for when it comes to WHL Saskatchewan teams? Maybe it's Brandon, maybe it's Medicine Hat. Will you pay close attention to the playoffs, and will there be like a little bit of a go Blades in you?
I mean, not anymore. I think like
good for you.
I'm fully in the Pats. I'll watch the playoff games even throughout the regular season. I watch most games if I can. And kind of sticking with the crew. Yeah. Earlier this year, as Braxton Whitehead came out, the huge news, right? Opening up the door, and then where we are now, so many kids, players that are older in the league now have opportunity and options. As a younger guy, and I'm sure the NHL and the pro, all that's still there as well. What does that mean for a younger guy to go, oh, well, maybe down the road, schooling and then going to play NCAA could be a possibility for a younger guy? I mean, yeah, just another option. It almost gives younger guys another reason to work that much harder, because you got that many more people to beat out if you want to go to that NCAA level. So it's just another opportunity for guys.
Right on. Well, always a pleasure to talk to a fellow Saskatoonian. Have a good one tonight against the Blades. Yeah, try and I know we got Coach De Silva coming up here in a bit. You're trying and stick it to them tonight, right? Those 2 points. Zach, have a great rest of the year, and looking forward to next year.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Regina Pats Zach Moore joining us here live. We are streaming, and we're live at the Brandt Centre, Pats and Blades tonight on 620 CKRM.